979 here, and today's topic I am going to talk about fanboys. Lately, particularly in the gaming community, a lot of people have been going around bashing each other, saying a bunch of crap, and I'm here to kind of shed some light on it because I'm getting kind of sick of it. You have Xbox fanboys, Nintendo fanboys, PlayStation. Yes, there are PlayStation fanboys because there are issues with PlayStation as well that have not been mentioned. And of course, you got the PC fanboys. Out of those four, I would think the Xbox fanboys are the worst, in my opinion, because you guys go out and say the most retarded stuff without even looking stuff up. And I do mean looking stuff up. Not just something you see on IGN or whatever. You Google stuff for hours trying to make sure your facts are accurate. And some of you may go, well, what the heck is he talking about? The comments will range from Xbox One has the best graphics, best gameplay, Xbox Live is superior to everything else, whatever. After that, it's a load of bull. Nintendo fanboys, kind of been quiet lately, but they'll say, well, Nintendo has the best exclusives, or they got the gamepad. Some of that is true, some of it is crap. PlayStation fanboys ignore the fact Sony's not doing too well. They're losing quite a bit of money. Not from PlayStation, it's from their other divisions. Because as everybody knows, Sony works in other parts of the electronics industry. Everything else they do is falling by the wayside, and they have to sell off whole divisions, like what they had to do with Sony Bio, close down stores, all sorts of stuff, just to stay relevant. Not to mention also the layoffs, because, put it simply, they're broke, and a lot of people are saying they could go bankrupt. And there's a reality where, who knows if we're going to see PlayStation in a few years from now. Who knows? Sony may get to a point where they have to sell it off to somebody else, or do whatever. But we don't know the future of PlayStation, so that's a problem. And last but not least, the PC fanboys. Yeah, PC has its benefits. I'm a PC gamer myself at the moment, but I'm not a fanboy to it. It's not because I haven't been on it long. It's because I know how people think. Because the masses are still under the impression of, oh my god, if I play games on my computer, it's gonna blow up. If it blows up, you did something really stupid. Because this is not the early 2000s, 90s, 80s, whatever. I mean, pretty much, you buy any computer now, it's gonna play something. I don't know if you're gonna run Crysis 3, Metro, Watch Dogs, whatever, but it will run something. At the very least, Minecraft. That takes little to nothing to run. Or you got people that think it's such a hassle to keep up with, and it's kind of true. You got to upgrade it, and I have to say it's not for everybody. You have to have a technical mind and understand how computers work, because I know that's what I had to do. I had to take time to figure out the ins and outs of my computer so I could get it performing as well as I wanted it to. But not everybody's going to know about drivers, software updates, overclocking, yada yada yada. That's just the way it is. A lot of people are just they're not tech literate. And anytime they see a computer, they squeal and run like dogs with their tails between their legs. It's sad, but it's the reality we live in. But like I said, out of all of them, Xbox fanboys, in my opinion, are the worst because you guys will say anything to justify the Xbox One. And these are the guys I'm seeing go back and forth with everybody else the most. PlayStation fanboys, yeah, some act like children, but it's not like what they're saying is false when it comes to some of the stuff they say for the Xbox guys. Nintendo, I used to get on Nintendo fanboys a lot, but lately they sort of died down a little bit. I don't know what it is, but it seems like the air is starting to settle a little bit because, you know, with the Wii U, it's to be expected. And you really, when you compare specs and even the games themselves, I mean, there's really no damage control. Nintendo messed up, and they're still messing up. Just this week, they talked about Smash Brothers on Nintendo Direct, and I found out Smash Brothers is going to release on the 3DS first this summer, and then the Wii U this winter. Now, I'm not an analyst for CNN or whatever, but it doesn't take a genius to figure out that's dumb. That is the worst thing you could have done. Because this fall, we're going to have Batman Arkham Knight, we're going to have Destiny, maybe another Halo, I don't know, because some say it's delayed, some say it's not. Microsoft, I don't know. Either way, we're going to have some really, really big titles on next-gen consoles. Even the last-gen consoles will have some, like, we're going to get a Borderlands prequel, and who knows what else that's going to come to the PS3 and Xbox 360. You got all these high-profile games, and I mean, I don't get why Nintendo would have done a switch. They should have released the Wii U version first, the 3DS version later. So to me, they're just digging their own grave. Do not be surprised when the numbers come out. And oh, Smash Brothers is a good game. It's good, but just like 3D Mario last year, it didn't really move units that much. All the attention was on the next-gen console and PC and whatnot. And that's lately what I've been seeing too. Most of the stuff I'm seeing is coming from the other three platforms. It's sad, but that's the case of Nintendo. Not doing too well. But back to the Xbox guys. But yeah, you guys are pretty much the worst out of the consoles. And like I said, PC guys can be just as annoying. Because I read some stuff from you guys that it's almost like if a game is not at perfection, you don't want to play it. If it's not 60 frames a second, 1080p or whatever, you don't want to play it. And hey, I'm all for good graphics and stuff, but I'm not a snob about it. For me, my standard for the next gen is 1080p. 1080p 60 frames for all the games. That's not going to happen. Okay, and I will do a video explaining the difference between 30 and 60 frames and is it worth it or not. Sometimes it's really not worth it. I'm not saying it won't look nice at 60 frames, but it's not required. That's where you have to separate required versus want. If you want 60 frames per second for all your games, stick to PC, but not everybody cares. You got idiots out there that still think there's no difference when we all know there is. But it's sad to say, but the Xbox guys actually got worse than the PC guys. Because when Microsoft unveiled DX12, everybody was screaming for joy like the Lord came to Earth to save everybody. Look, all the demos you saw up to this point were on PC. We don't know how this is going to affect the Xbox One. Microsoft claimed a 50% boost, but what does 50% mean? Because you have to understand this. Software will not make up the fact the Xbox One is weaker than the PS4. The Xbox One, and I might be slightly off by this, but pretty close, it can calculate 1.33 T-flops of data a second. Now, it's not the worst thing out there, but it's certainly not the best. The PS4, on the other hand, can do 1.84 T-flops of data a second. That's how much it can compute. And as we've seen with games, it can make a big of a difference. Call of Duty Ghosts, 720p 60 frames on Xbox One, 1080p 60 frames on PS4. Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes, 720p 60 frames on Xbox One, 1080p 60 frames on the PS4 with some stronger textures and lighting effects in some scenes. Allegedly, well, not even allegedly, we know the PS4 is going to be 1080p 30 frames, but Ubisoft is unconfirmed with the Xbox One version. Sources say it's either going to be 900p or a weird resolution of 960p at 30 frames a second. But yeah, and people say, oh, the cloud's going to help. The cloud, let me explain something. The cloud requires internet, we all know that. But I was one of the people on the fence about that because the bandwidth requirements for that are going to be kind of up there. It's going to be way higher than PlayStation Now, I can tell you that. Because that's, the cloud trying to compute data in milliseconds. Because you have data being calculated on a server computer. Let's say it's in Africa for all we know. All that data has to come from Africa here to the United States over your home network, and it must be displayed on your screen like that in a second. Not even a second, like milliseconds. The bandwidth that's required for that is going to be quite high. You might need Google Fiber to get that kind of performance. And most of the demos I've seen for the cloud were physics. And, standard GPUs you would see on PC, or even CPU, you would see the CPU or GPU, depending on what's going on in the game, they're adequate and can compute the physics. So I don't really get why the cloud is all that. So when it comes to DX12 and the cloud, first off with DX12, we don't know. Because let's say a game's at 720p, it might be 720p 30 frames like Dead Rising 3. But thanks to DX12, it might run at 720p 60 frames for all we know. Or it could be 900p, but maybe it's 1080p, whatever, but we don't know. And DX12 does not come out till late next year. So what are you going to do between now and November 2015? You're just stuck with crappy ports. So there's that issue. Then I got people saying, well, Xbox Live is superior. And I want to comment on that because I've been with Xbox Live since 2009. And I used to love it. Like, to me, that was really good. But as of last year, I hated it because Microsoft made some really, really dumb choices. I was in the beta for 2013 update for the Xbox 360. That beta was so piss poor I wanted to vomit. Nobody was saying anything to us beta testers. We had updates every other day. I'm sitting there like, what the hell is this? I'm getting an update every day. What is it changing? And nobody would confirm or comment what these changes were. And then when the beta was over, everybody was promised a t-shirt and little goodies and stuff. I never got my avatar gear because I had computer issues. My brother's computer fried on me when I was doing homework. Our desktop was fried because crappy HP. So I literally didn't have a computer to use to redeem it. And the one time I could try to redeem it, it just said, we can't redeem it. And all it would give me is a dress for the female avatar. I mean, it was like, why are you giving me a shirt for a female avatar? And I even contacted the supervisor and he's like, tough nuts. And that was just kind of the last straw with me. And I switched over to Steam. It just wasn't that issue. There was security, the security proofs. Stop with Xbox Live has great security because those security proofs add more issues to your life than anything. Because even just this week with my mom, she couldn't get into her email because Microsoft changed stuff where you got to give them your phone your email, your address, all sorts of crap just to even use their stuff. And my question to Microsoft is, why in the hell do I need to give you all this personal information just to play a damn video game or watch a freaking movie? That makes no sense whatsoever. And you even read in the terms of use, this came out last year with the NSA, and this was actually confirmed. You can look it up yourself or read the terms of use, and it will say they can use your information and send it out to third parties. So for all you know, you're going to get a bunch of spam and crap, and it's ridiculous. And yeah, I'm not going to pay for ads. That's stupid. And like I said, the security proofs don't do crap, because just last week, a 5-year-old, a freaking 5-year-old was able to hack into his dad's Xbox Live account. And you know how he did it? They had the verification screen. It came up with a second screen. He found a way to basically hit the space button or whatever, and he was able to get in and play M-rated games he wasn't supposed to. But I found that really, really, really freaking disturbing how a 5-year-old was able to get in there. Like, if it was that easy for a child to do that, can you imagine if that was a hacker and he wanted to do some damage? I mean, seriously. And just a few months ago, somebody in the Syrian government hacked Xbox Live, and people were making comments about that. So you got a 5-year-old and the government hacking your network. Now, I know PlayStation Network was hacked, but it took, let's see, basically 5 years, about 5 years before the PlayStation 3 was hacked, because it was so complicated to figure out and program for. So obviously it was a big mess for hackers. But the Xbox One's been on the market, what? 1, 2, 3, 4. But I would say 5 to 7 months, and they're already cracking that thing like it's nothing. As a user, I don't feel safe. With Microsoft, you're hearing rumors of Microsoft working with the NSA. The security proofs don't do anything. They change stuff without even notice. I mean, I've heard stories of people getting banned from Xbox Live and Microsoft services for no reason. And Microsoft's like, tough nuts, whatever. Go buy another freaking product if you don't like us. It's about money and other crap with them, and it's ridiculous. I feel like I'm getting sold a piece of junk, or I'm being sold a half-assed service. They claim to be premium, but in my experience, I'm not seeing that. But on Steam, my experience has been a lot better, and just PC in general when it comes to support. When I had an issue, usually it was taken care of. Just a few weeks ago, I bought LA Noire, and I was expecting, a pretty good game. Had good reviews. And I wanted to play it. Turns out the PC version, like any other Rockstar game, ran like doo-doo. And it was a 50-50 chance of running. I fell into the category of it not running, not because my computer's not powerful enough, but because the game's basically bloatware. The issue is, it's lagging, and the reason it's lagging is because of the CPU. Because everybody said, when you have a CPU issue, no matter what you do in the game's going to lag regardless. So you could change whatever, it's going to act the same. So it's something with the CPU where it's not talking properly. And I got a quad core, so it should run no problem, but LA Noire doesn't like it apparently. So I got mad. I tried to contact Rockstar. After getting the runaround with them, I called Amazon, where I did purchase the game, and got the Steam key. They were like, "Sir, we understand the situation." They said normally they don't do refunds for digital content because it's digital. Once you use it, you can't redeem it again. But they said due to the circumstances, and you did contact Rockstar, they didn't resolve the issue because it is their product. On behalf of Amazon, we will issue you a refund. Your money will be deposited in your account, within 1 to 2 business days. But I was so impressed that in less than 12 hours, my money was back in my account. And with that money, I went out and bought Metro Last Light, which is a really demanding game on PC when you crank up the settings. It looks gorgeous, and it ran a heck of a lot better. It ran like a dream for me, and actually worked. That's the kind of support and service I want to see. I've never seen that with Microsoft. Every time I try to, have something fixed or talk to them about something, they always try to sell me a product. They give me the runaround. That I have to cuss them out trying to get a supervisor when the lower level folk can't do anything. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. If you're not going to be honest with me, I'm going to take my business elsewhere. Above all else, that was my main issue, and a lot of other people's issues with Microsoft. They give you the runaround. They say one thing and do another. They are not committed. And I'm not going to buy something and not know what the heck it is and what it's doing. And so, my thing is this. You have the right to spend your money on whatever you want to spend it on, whether that's Xbox, Wii, PlayStation, or PC. Do what works for you. I don't care if you go buy an iPad just to go play Angry Birds. If that's what you want to do, knock yourself out. It's not my money, so I can't tell you what to do. I can only give you a suggestion. But to the fanboys, stop being ignorant to the fact there are problems. I will repeat this so people will understand in their little brains. Xbox guys need to understand Microsoft as a whole screwed up with Xbox. They had something good going, but when they unveiled the Xbox One, it was from there. Now they're trying to climb back up like a dog trapped in a hole trying to save its own butt. They're doing whatever it takes. So until they get their crap together, I'm not even going to touch an Xbox because it's really ridiculous the way they treat their consumers. And it's not just with Xbox, it's with Windows, it's with Surface. A lot of their products people have complained about. I know people who complain. So, not just me. So, and they need to work on the customer service and telling the truth to people. PlayStation guys, not a holy grail either. Yeah, we get 1080p games, whatever, but Sony's not doing too well as a company. A lot of their stuff going under. So they need to figure out a way to innovate like they used to do in the past, so we don't have a future where there's no Sony. Okay? So yeah, they need some new material. PlayStation is not enough for them. Nintendo guys, you need to demand more. I know people like Mario, but one of the defenses is, well, Mario and the Nintendo games are nostalgic. A game is not nostalgic if it comes out every other year. Just recently I read there's going to be a new 3D Mario game in development. Now you just released the 3D Mario and you're already in development? That's not nostalgic, unless it's going to come out in 2020. PC guys, understand, the masses are not that bright. I have heard people say the most retarded things. Me personally, I'm not crazy about some things. Like, I'm not a person that's going to go out and spend $3,000 on a Titan Z or whatever. But I want acceptable performance, which will be 1080p, at least 30 frames. 60 frames is a bonus to me. And if I get more than 60 frames, I guess you get a pat on the back. What you freaking do. But, like I said, the public needs to be re-educated. And if people buy consoles, leave them alone. Okay? That's their choice. They may not go for the latest graphics, because even though the Xbox One games are subpar, it's not like we're playing Pac-Man, people. Now, I expected more from the Xbox One, and that's why I complained, because I expected a certain quality, and I wanted a better service from Microsoft. They didn't do that. They have to fix that by any means necessary. So we'll just see how they try to handle this. But PlayStation 4 has what I wanted, so that's what I will get. And eventually I'll upgrade from this Asus laptop and go to, I guess, a desktop. I might as well. Gonna need a new computer within like 2-3 years anyway. But fanboyism needs to stop. As Oprah said it to Lindsay Lohan, cut the bullshit. Play the games, enjoy yourself. Don't look at pixel counts all the time. Don't take what the company shoved down your throat. Demand better stuff, and they will give you better. Speak with your wallets. I try to do that sometimes. You guys need to do it too. So, no, this is a very long video. I apologize, but it's a topic that I wanted to make sure I got all the information out there. So, thank you for watching this video. And as I said before, just play the games, people, and enjoy them. Peace out. See ya.